Hey guys, welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles! In the last episode, we performed the dance of deduction with Herlock, and we unfolded some pretty neat things, or neat is the wrong word, maybe some interesting things. That is the word I'm looking for. So, without further ado, if you haven't watched it, just go back and watch that episode so you know what we're talking about, and we are going right into the game again.
Well, Mr. Magnus McGilded. Not a name I expected to hear in these circumstances.
Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid there's something very troubling on my mind.
Pray tell, Miss Susato.
Well, according to what Mr. Windybank told us earlier, today was the final day on which the code could have been redeemed, was it not?
Yes, ma'am, that is correct. Today would be precisely 2 months since it was first deposited.
Well, today is the 15th April, so 2 months ago.
Would have been the 15th February, sir. That's right. It's all carefully recorded in my ledger. Deposited at 10:30 p.m., I see.
What? But that suggests...
Yes, 15th February.
is precisely the day on which the omnibus murder took place.
And 10:30 in the evening
Is precisely
the time at which the terrible ruins were unfolding.
Suggested is not the word. It would seem the matter is entirely beyond coincidence.
You are, of course, at liberty to make whatever outlandish deductions you choose. However,
I must insist you hand over the music box disc, sir. I must insist you hand over the music box disc now. It would be a terrible shame for you to return to your native land in a box. What do I do? Well, okay, that caught me by surprise here. Do we hand over the discs? Or do we absolutely not do it? I'm gonna go with absolutely not. There are some things a man must protect at all costs. This may well be one of those things. Then again, it may not. Mr. Windybank!
this is my shop. I can't allow any harm to come to my customers. If that were to happen, I should have to take my own life.
Mr. Windybank, no! Alright, that's enough. Inspector Gregson!
Inspector?
That's right, Sunshine. The alarm was raised on one of our dedicated emergency lines. So we got here as fast as we could. Now, what's all this about, huh?
Oh, praise be, you're here at last. I was moments away from forfeiting my own life in my very own establishment.
It would seem you have the upper hand.
Right, you lot have got some explaining to do. I don't appreciate being bothered with some pretty petty argy-bargy.
Petty? Mr. Windybank very nearly met his end.
Yeah, by his own gun, as far as I can tell.
Oh, dear.
And the whole of Britain could meet with this end if I don't get to the bottom of this case I'm supposed to be working on.
What? What on earth is the case, Inspector?
Spare no detail, Gregson. I might have said a little too much. No matter. It's nothing to do with you lot. Anyway, sir, you're gonna have to come with me down to the station.
But of course, Inspector.
Ah! He's getting away! Get after him, lads! Whistle the beat, Officer 2!
Sir!
There's been a spate of thefts at pawn shops around here recently. So we've fitted emergency buttons underneath the counters for brokers to let us know when there's trouble.
Oh, Inspector, I was very worried there for a while. Very worried indeed.
Now then, Mr. Permanently in Mourning.
Yes?
I'll be taking that whatever it is of Mr. McGillet down to the yard. Thank you very much.
So hand it over. Oh, yes, of course.
No, don't give it to him. It's mine, that is mine. I'm sorry, miss, but anything belonging to McGillet has to be taken in as evidence now.
As evidence?
If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. Yeah.
And so, we handed Mr. McGilder's disc over to Inspector Gregson, and was summarily turfed out of the shop and onto the street. Oh, okay, it seems like my timing was pretty off with the last episode. But we are just going to save and keep on playing, because we just started the episode, so there is no need in doing anything else but play. And we're gonna do that. 15th April, Baker Street.
See, that's why I hate grown-ups. All they do is feed your pocket lives and take stuff away from you. Oh, really, Miss Lestrade? Tell me, is that overcoat keeping you warm? What?
Oh my, surely you were given that.
Yeah, the dean let me keep it after I looked daggers at him for long enough. He went through the pockets and said, "Go on then, have it before telling me to scalp her." Always pays off giving people a look like you ate them.
I can't help feeling that it's going to get you into serious trouble one day.
What I really wanted was that nice shiny disc, man.
The music box disc? But Mr. Windybank said it was practically worthless.
I think I'm gonna go and have another bash. Give him a long and hard stare. I think not, Miss Lestrade. We shan't enter Windybanks again today. Why not? That's not fair.
It can't be helped, I'm afraid. The police are investigating the scene now and taking a statement from Mr. Windybank.
But that disc's mine. I had tickets for this coat and it wasn't in this coat's pocket. And there should be something else and all. That's what the rotten cop said, ain't it?
Yes, he did mention something about another article, didn't he?
Well then, that's mine too, whatever it is.
Now she's really pushing her luck.
Miss Lestrade, I think it's time to admit defeat. You've had your haul for the day. Yeah, and it's all your fault, Charms. So what are your plans now? Will you dine with us this evening? Huh? Iris would be delighted to cook, I'm sure, and I might entertain you with a modest violin recital. No, Ta. Oh. Why would I come around your place, huh? Have you lost your head or something?
Oh dear, she's gone.
Having rewiled on me quite unnecessarily, I might add.
I can't help wondering if perhaps she might turn up anyway.
Interesting.
Once she's had a chance to calm down, I think there's a good chance she'll decide to come.
Very well then. I'll inform Iris to set a place for our potential guest at the dinner table this evening. And one more thing. I should be glad of your company later, too.
Sorry?
I believe I will have a rather splendid surprise to show you.
Oh, how exciting! What is it?
You shall have to wait and see, Miss Susato. Until later, then.
Well, it seems like there's not much we can do right now. Now we can take a look here. We're gonna do that, of course. It's already been 2 months since we started taking lodgings here above Mr. Sholmes' office. I still can't quite believe it. I never expected things would turn out like this. Oh, I know! To actually be sharing accommodation with the world's greatest detective. If I ever find myself before a court of law now, I will have not one regret. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'd be happy to defend you, of course. That might happen in the second game. That might actually happen in the second game, because we defended Maya so often in the Ace Attorney games in the first trilogy, and in Spirit of Justice 2. So I wouldn't be too surprised if at some point we would have to defend Susato-san. Okay, so we can't go to the pawnbrokery, but we can go to the suit, and we're gonna do that. There's not much else to do right now. 15th April, 3:46 p.m., Sholmes' suite. Ah, Susie and Bruno! Come in, come in! Good afternoon, Iris. Thank you so much for breakfast this morning. Oh, don't mention it! Goodness, look at the time already! Busy as always? I am! I'm preparing everything for dinner this evening. Already you're obviously cooking something special, are you? Oh yes! After all, we have a special guest joining us! Guess who it is? Go on! You'll never guess! Look at those little eyes of hers shining. Oh dear, it is awkward when you already know the answer, isn't it? It's Ginny! Isn't that exciting? Oh, what a surprise! Yes, that's wonderful news. Wow, Iris seems overjoyed at the idea. I can't wait to learn some pickpocketing tips from a real professional. Oh yes, that does sound like fun. I'm not sure that's entirely appropriate. Are you, Mr. Naruhodo? By the way, Iris, what's Mr. Sholmes up to? Hurley! Oh, he's been like that ever since he got back. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. I beg that you won't speak to me? Sorry.
I beg that you won't speak to me.
Sorry?
I don't know who you are, but kindly take your leave. As you can see, I'm not here.
I don't know how to respond to that.
I do apologize. When he gets like this, he's completely oblivious to everything.
Yes, I see.
Really, he behaves just like a child sometimes. Hurley does. Mr. Sholmes and Iris have something of a parent and child relationship, don't they?
Yes, except that Iris is clearly the parent here. Come to think of it, I wonder where her real parents are.
What's the matter, Runo? You have ever such a funny look on your face.
Oh, no, it's nothing.
I know what it is. Why does this girl live with Mr. Sholmes? You're wondering, am I right?
How did you...
Oh, Runo, I can read you like a book.
This girl is dangerous.
Don't worry, you can ask me anything. I won't mind.
Well, if that's the case... Although, let me just check, guys. I'm sorry, I know, but I want to be thorough. And... Oh, there's something new here. This is where Iris notes down ideas, isn't it? Let's see, what does it say today? Ah, the Boscombe Welly Mystery.
Oh, how intriguing. It must be the title of Iris' latest work. Oh my, I wonder what fantastic tale awaits us.
Susato-san looks like an angel, but I bet she's dreaming of the most unsavory crime you could imagine. Well, okay, so... nothing else, it seems. All check marks. So we could talk to Mr. Shorms. I don't think we're gonna do that first, but we're gonna check out the violin, of course. Now, this really is Mr. Shorms' faithful performing partner then. The Stradivar, the Strapiskar, the Scrapifarius, though it's no good, it's gone. The virtuoso's violin that he found in a pawnbroker's and managed to buy for next to nothing.
After all we went through to get it back, he's just cast it aside on that chair. I was looking forward to hearing the beautiful sound it makes when Mr. Shorms plays it.
It does look rather sorry for itself there, doesn't it? Although, at least Vagahai hasn't attacked it yet, even if his eyes are saying it's only a matter of time. Yeah, that's gonna happen at some point for sure. Alright, I'm gonna see. So, Mr. Shorms, what are you so engrossed in? I want to check out what happens if we do inspect him. Did you not hear? I am not here. Of course you're not. I cannot think why the whole bed of the ocean is not one solid mass of oysters, so prolific the creatures seem. Huh. You won't even turn around and look at me.
It's best just to leave him alone when he's in on one of his moods like this.
Yes, I can see that. Well, okay, so that doesn't work out, which means we're just gonna talk. Although, can we present something to her? No, we can't. Although we could, I'm gonna do that. Sorry guys, I have to be thorough. Would you mind if I showed you this, Iris? It's just a boring thing really, but do we have that? Can we script it? No, we can't.
Oh, I don't really like boring things.
Looks like Japanese modesty is easily misinterpreted by young Western children.
I mean, who does like boring things? No one wants to be shown something boring. Come to think of it, you're always introducing things with, this is boring, but it's a bad habit. You should stop it.
I'll be sure to let the entire population of the Empire of Japan know on my return. So this must be a reference because modesty is very important in Japanese culture, and you are supposed to be things that you own or yourself. It's supposed to make them belittle them, and things that are on the opposite side, the one you're talking to, they are to be risen above, to be embiggened. And that is something very important in Japanese language, as far as I know. I don't speak Japanese or something, but in university I actually wrote something about kenjogo and sonkeigo and stuff. And politeness is very important in Japanese language. And one of the strategies of politeness is to belittle yourself and embiggen your not opponent, but your conversation partner, and that is very important in the English language. So that must be a reference to that. All right, so let's talk about Ginny. So by Ginny, you mean Miss Lestrade, the young woman from the McGillard case 2 months ago, right?
Yes, who also stole my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Although after that trial, I invited her back here, and we had dinner together. And now we're the best of friends. Oh, what a lovely tale. Yes, now I fell up into her in the street. She runs away as fast as she can. Oh. And I chase after her down in the back alleys.
Interesting idea of friendship.
And then I let her have the latest color of smoke grenade I've developed. Oh. There are so many beautiful colors in the world. Ginny wants me to make a whole rainbow.
I suppose this means you've let Miss Lestrade keep the smoke grenade launcher, have you?
Yes, that's right. I'd go bored of it anyway. Hurley always reacts the same way when I shoot him with it now.
Poor Hurley?
Oh, I can't wait for Ginny to arrive. It's been too long since she last came over. I'm so excited.
I just hope she does actually come. Living with Shawms.
I'm sure you've been wondering why it is that I live here with Hurley, haven't you?
Well, it has crossed my mind. That and where are your real parents?
My mummy and daddy aren't with me anymore. Mummy passed away when I was born. And at around the same time my father, well, he had to go to a faraway land because one of the cases he and Hurley were working on.
Oh. Wait a minute. Did you say he and Hurley?
Yes. Daddy and Hurley were always solving mysterious cases together.
She didn't mention that before.
He wrote them all up in his diaries. That's what's in the metal chest over there.
Really? Recorded them all?
So, you mean it's true? Mr. Shawms really did have a partner with whom he tackled some of his most taxing cases. Oh yes, I mean, it's always nice to have one, isn't it?
So Mr. Shawms' partner was your father?
Exactly. Hurley told me I wasn't allowed to look in the chest. But that only made me want to look even more, so I opened it up and found your father's memoirs. Yes, so as I asked Hurley, who wrote these? He nearly fell off his chair. But then he told me, that's when I found out that the author of all those accounts was my father.
So Iris's father was Mr. Shawms' partner. Let's talk about her father.
I've practically lived with Hurley all my life. I was tiny when he took me in. So, it came as quite as a shock when Hurley told me he wasn't really my daddy. I mean,
It must have done.
I wonder why Mr. Shawms chose to tell you, and at such a young age. Hurley says it's because you wouldn't have been able to hide it from me. Oh. Well, having lived with Hurley all these years, you might say this that his way have rubbed off on me. There are some things I can't just see. Especially lies. I almost know when people are lying before they open their mouths sometimes.
Right.
Anyway, I was so fascinated when I read Daddy's diaries. That's what it inspired me to write The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, actually. I'd always assumed Mr. Shawms simply told you all those thrilling stories. Oh no, Hurley's hopelessly like that. He forgets everything. As soon as he's solved the case, it all but vanishes from his mind. Oh, I see. The other day was so embarrassing. As usual, he totally forgot about the case he just solved. So the very next day, he gathered together all the people involved and proceeded to solve the case again. It was quite a shock for everyone.
You can say that again.
You share your father's surname, don't you, Iris? That's right, Wilson. Daddy's Dr. John Wilson. John H. Wilson. I learned from his diaries that he's a doctor of medicine, you see. That's what prompted me to study and study so that I could earn a doctorate as well.
Iris's father, who went to some distant land, and is a doctor by the name of John H. Wilson.
The court will now hear the trial of Rionosuke Naruhodo. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case.
The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. That's right. Visiting professor of medicine at Imperial Yumei University. And the man who, in the most bizarre of circumstances, lost his life just before we left Japan. Miss Susato,
Yes?
perhaps we shouldn't pursue this conversation any further at this time.
I think that would be for the best.
Ah, my dear fellows, how good to see you.
Eek, Mr. Sharms.
Why ever did you not make your presence known to me before? Well, no matter now. So, how the devil are you?
We've been with you for most of the day.
Goodness, really?
Do tell me, Mr. Sharms, is your violin unscathed?
My violin. Whatever are you talking about, dear madam?
Oh,
Never mind that now. I have something far more interesting to show you. Behold, my dear fellows.
oh, another music box disc?
No, not another disc, Miss Susato. This is the one Gregson demanded we hand over as evidence, Mr. McGilded's disc.
Oh my!
Then what's it doing here?
You know, at times, Mr. Naruhodo, I think that though I have an undeniable turn for detection, I may have been more adept at larceny.
Oh, that would be wonderfully exciting! I'd be your pickpocketing assistant! And Reno could be our go-to lawyer if we ever get caught!
Right.
Plus, Susie has such beautiful handwriting she could write all our medicine crime notifications. Yes, I'd be delighted.
I'm just going to pretend this conversation never happened, I think. Alright, guys, but we haven't reached the half-hour mark yet, but we are almost there to hit it, so this is going to be it for this episode of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. If you want to know what the disc is all about, you'll have to tune in next time. See you then.